Hey, it's Bev, your deep dive coach, and I have your deep dive assignment for this month for you, and it's such a good one. I've been doing this work with my clients the past few weeks, and it is seriously, permanently life-changing. So this month, we are diving deeper by breaking our rules. And here's how I define a rule for the purposes of our inner work. A rule is a false connection between two things that then tells us how we need to behave. It's usually a false connection that we made when we were young, based on things we were told or things we saw or things that we experienced, and then our immature brains connected them and said, oh, this is how the world works. And that means if the world works this way, I need to behave this way. Your work this month is to examine these rules with your mature adult brain to see if this false connection and the rule of how to behave is working for you now. My guess is there are many rules you created then that are costing you now. So I'm going to give you some examples that have come up in my work with clients, and then I want you to go find your own. Common one. If I'm very quiet, my mother will be happy. False connection. Me being quiet or however I am behaving has no bearing on my mother's emotion or anyone else in the world's emotions. As adults, we know this. The problem with this false connection is the rule that I make up is be quiet, don't make waves, don't be too big. What is that kind of rule costing you? Think about it. All right, another one. If I do well, I will be worthy. Usually coming from an earlier rule, if I do well, my parents will be proud of me. They will pay attention to me. False connection. There's no connection between my report card or my medal or my promotion as an adult and my worth. My worth is absolute. How I do is just a result I created based on a model that may not be serving me. Totally false. Also false, if I do well, my parents will feel proud. It's a reasonable assumption based on the response you may have received when you brought home a medal or a good report card, but it's still a false connection because parents' emotions come from their thoughts, not from your medal. So, but the problem is that the rule that you might have created from that false connection is, I need to do well no matter what. So it could be at the expense of your well-being, it could be at the expense of relationships, it could be at the expense of how much pleasure you're experiencing in life. So then you're going to want to question that rule. If the connection is not truth, it doesn't make me worthy, do I want to still keep following that rule? Do well no matter what. Okay, another one. If I do whatever they say, they will like me. Totally false connection. My actions, my saying yes and doing it, do not create emotions in other people. Again, as a child, we could see how we formed that connection. Somebody asked me for something, I said yes, and they're like, oh, you can be my friend. Oh, they like me. The problem with that false connection is the rule is I must say yes no matter what. I must do whatever anyone asks me to do, no matter whether I want to, and no matter the cost to myself. Terrible rule, right? So you really want to think about uncoupling that one. If this is a rule you made up, many women did, and it's costing them a lot. Okay, one more. This is actually two false connections. If I'm wealthy, I could have made up a connection, people will like me more. Totally false. Whether somebody likes me or not has nothing to do with how much money I have. It has everything to do with what they think about me. That false connection might have me saying, I have to make as much money as possible and show it, be very showy with it, whether I really want it or not. So what's that costing me? Constant striving for more, more, more. Conversely, some people made up the rule, if I'm wealthy, people will judge me. Again, false connection. How much money I have, very little to do with people's judgments of me. But if I believe it, then it means I'm not going to enjoy my money. I'm going to hide it and pretend I don't have it, which also makes no sense. Like, don't show how much money you have. Don't let people know you have money. Just see if that rule's costing you. And if you decide that the rules you made up are not costing you, use your adult brain to find the false connection that your immature brain made and be willing to uncouple the things. I think once you uncouple them, it will make it very easy for you to gently lay down the rule and decide, what rules do I want to make? Knowing that the only connection between people's feelings are the thoughts they're thinking. True for me, true for them. Now what rules do I want to make to live by as an adult who's done my work and who knows the stuff? All right, that is your work. It's going to be amazing. I have an announcement to you. If you are a life coach who is certified by the Life Coach School, I'm creating an advanced training and it's going to be ridiculous. So if you're interested in learning some advanced coaching from me, I don't have all the details yet. I'm thinking about it all the time, even in the middle of the night. I wake up, I'm like, oh my God, that idea, and this, and this. I'm going to be off the hook. So the way that you will be the first to find out and be offered a spot is if you go look at the bottom of the email and click where it says click here, and then you'll be added to the interest list. All right, I will see you next month.